This video is a how-to to create an account to use EZCM on your iPad, and this is where you would log in the email address and password that you just created. So create an account, just tap that button and that will take you in here. We'd like to have you enter your real first and last name. It'd be very helpful so we know who is using the program, your real phone number, and then make sure this is your real email address, because we're going to give you some stuff by email when you set up your account. And then a password. This password should not be the password into contract management. It should be a password into EZCM. Go ahead and check the 14-day free trial and sign up. This will take you into where you add a server. So you would add the server and the login into your contract management program. So here you would put your standard URL information here. If there's a port number, enter that. The welcome letter will show you just the different ways that you might be logging in. So I would do that, and then once you've done that, then put in your username that you use to enter into contract management and your password that gets you into contract management. If your URL uses HTTPS, tap that glide bar to on, otherwise tap it off. If your database is Oracle, tap that to on. If it's SQL, tap it to off. So there you are, you're all set up, you're ready to go, and we can go ahead and add a server. You go and tap that, and now you're going to be into your list of projects, and there we have our demo database of all the projects, all the modules on the right hand side. And when we look at this, what we need to do is say, I got a long list of projects, I'm going to shorten that up. We can sort it, date, name, title, and then with our finger tap those that will be our favorites, tap the favorite star icon and roll them right up. And at this point we need to think about bringing all of the group settings in. These are the group settings that are in your database. We need to bring them onto the phone so that we can access them quickly instead of having to retrieve them when we need them. So we're storing them on the phone. This is the statuses that have been added in your database. We'll tap a few by hitting the star to make our favorites, and then we'll look at the specifications. These again are the specifications that are in your server. If you've modified the list that came in the database, you'll be getting all of those modified ones. And you can see the little comment sheet up there says any of those that you tap a star on the icon, they'll appear at the top of your list when we go to select these and assign them. So go ahead and tap the ones that you probably use the most, and then they'll appear up at the top of your list, and it'll be a great time saver. Just shorten the list quickly when you select them when you're adding RFIs. Then we'll bring in the reason code. There's several of those. We could shorten that list by tapping a few favorites again, and that will be on, they'll be on the top of our list. And the work impact, kind of a short list to begin with, but we'll tap a few of those that we'll probably use more than others. Okay, so we have the group settings all done. Now we need to think about bringing the information over for each individual project. So just like you do in contract management, you have project settings, and the first one is going to be the contacts, the companies that are in your database for this project. They'll come over, and we'll select a few favorites, and this time when we select favorites, we'll also be assigning who RFIs are coming from and who they're going to. In your database, they might be coming from someone else, but now this is your iPad, you're creating the RFIs, you want them to come from you. So you would type the F if it's you. You would star you, and then you type a F. If you got an architect and engineer they're going to, you would star them and type a T. So that will automatically send these RFIs to them from you. We'll look at the contracts. Now the daily reports need a contract assigned to it, so we'll select a few favorites here, and then the one that we're going to create our first daily report from, we'll give it a D, so that'll be our default contract. So by tapping the D, that will be our first daily report. We'll go to this contract and to that contractor. So we've got our contacts, we got our contracts, and now all of our material deliveries. Sometimes you could have 100, 300, 800 deliveries, and you're going to want to assign them when you get your materials, when you get your deliveries in your daily report. And again, you can shorten that list by tapping a few favorites. So now you want to have every project that you are active in, you're going to want to bring in the project settings for that Otherwise, you'll get a warning when you try to do an RFI or daily report that you haven't brought them in, because we need those when we create those documents. So this will just shortcut it by having all the project settings brought in, the contacts, the contracts, and the deliveries, and then we'll be ready to go with EZCM. So now we've got all of our deliveries brought in, we have the contacts, the contracts from the projects that we're going to be using, and now we'll be ready to use EZCM. The more we get done in our initial setup, the faster adding documents will go.